L'chol yom havrochecha v'alashimcha le'olam va'ed.
Gadol Adonai u'olam ha'od v'ligdulato en cheker.
Dor l'dor yishabach ma'asecha gevuratecha yakidu.
Adar kavod hodecha v'divrei niflatecha asicha.
Jesus naratecha yameru gdulatecha saprena.
Zecher rav tufcha yabiyu v'tzikacha yiranenu.
Anun v'rachum Adonai erech apayim ugdol chesed.
Tov Adonai lakol v'rachamav v'kol ma'asav.
Yoducha Adonai kol ma'asecha v'chasidecha yevarchucha.
V'od malchutcha yameru v'uratocha yedaberu.
V'hodia livnei Adam gevurata v'chvod adar malchuto.
Malchut v'malchut kol amim v'mem shaltacha b'chol dor v'ador.
Someach Adonai l'cha novlim v'zokef l'cha kafufim.
Einecha lecha yisaberu v'atonaten lahem et achlam be'ito.
Poteach et yadecha maspil l'cha charatzon.
Dik Adonai b'chol derachav v'chasid b'chol ma'asav.
Karov Adonai l'cha krav l'cha asher yikru v'emet.
Son Yureav ya'aseh v'yet shavatam v'yashiem.
Shomer Adonai et kol hava v'et kol rashayim yashmid.
Yilat Adonai yidaber pi v'varech kol basar shem kachel le'olam va'ed.
V'anachnu nevarech yamei ata v'yad olam hallelujah.
Uva l'tzion goel shavei pesha b'Yaakov nu Adonai.
Page 560.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzavot, Melech haaretz kevodem. Lehu rachim yechaper avim v'lo yeshchid, v'yarbal hashiv apo, v'lo yerkol chamato, v'yatot. V'yiftachu b'chayodei shemecha, Kilo zafta dorshecha Adonai, Adonai chafetz l'man tito, Yagdil Torah v'ya'adir.
Rise Chatzi Kaddish.
Yikara v'yikara shemei Rabba.
Amen.
V'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachonu v'yamechon, v'chayirucho beit Yisrael, v'galav bisman kari, v'yimaru, Amen.
Ein Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Le'olam Olam Me'olmaya.
V'yitorach v'yishtabach, v'yitar v'yikaman v'yitnasei, v'yitnagach v'yitara v'yitarach, shmei d'kudesha b'richu.
Echu.
Olam min kol berchata v'shirata, tishbachata v'nechamata, v'miram b'yoma v'yimru, Amen.
Amen. We are at Seder Hotzaat HaTorah, and we'll start with Ki Mitzion.
Ki mitzion teitzei Torah dvar Adonai mirushalayim Baruch shenatan Torah le'amu Yisrael b'kedushato.
Adlu.
Haiti Roma mashemo yachdav. Adonai avdulah v'gdulav v'tifer v'netzach v'hahod. K'chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz. L'chol Adonai hamamlacha v'mitnaseh l'chol arosh. Eloheinu v'yishtachavu Adonai kadoshu. Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu har kadsho.
Ikadosh.
Eloheinu.
May be seated.
Bekim Adonai Elohechem v'yimchuchem hayom.
So we are now in our journey of Parshiot at Parshat Vaishlach. Since last week till today, Jacob spent 20 years, my God, 20 years in 1 week. He left with only a stick in his hand, and he comes back with 4 wives, 12 children, lots of sheep and camels and servants, male and female, and no credit cards. It's all cash. It's so powerful a moment because as Jacob comes back, he's going to very much be aware that his brother Esau, who swore to kill him, faces the possibility that he and Jeffrey, do you know why Lynn Tucker is like she's in China?
It's not Lynn. Perhaps it's all the rest of us. It's just a matter of perspective.
Well, we need to get her to our perspective because not all of us are going to change for Lynn. We love Lynn.
Lynn and I are trying to tackle that as we speak. But
okay,
you know how you read English from left to right and Hebrew from right to left. Well, Lynn is prepared to read from upside down to right side up.
Maybe she's on the south of the equator.
I like the way Jeffrey thinks.
And it is springtime in Lynn country. Okay, so we are at Jacob is approaching his homeland, his hometown to see his parents and of course Esau, and he is clearly mindful that his brother swore to kill him, except it's going to be mother and children, and that is an existential crisis. We begin on chapter 32, verse 4. And Ruth Ann, would you begin the reading for us?
Vayishlach Yaakov malachim lefanav el Esav achiv arza seir tzedei Edom vayetzav otam lemor kotemrun ladoni le'esav koamar abdecha Yaakov im Lavan garti va'echar ad ata va'hili shor b'chamor tzen ve'eved v'shivcha va'eshlecha lahagid ladoni limtzochen b'einecha.
Beautiful. Jeffrey, would you please read the translation for us? You're muted, Jeffrey. Details, you know. Still muted. Sorry, it's the truth.
It's all right. Bear with me just one moment, please.
Chapter 32, verse 4.
Jacob sent messengers ahead to his brother Esau in the land of Seir, the country of Edom, and instructed them as follows. Thus shall you say to my lord Esau, thus says your servant Jacob, I stayed with Laban and remained until now. I have acquired cattle and asses, sheep, and male and female slaves, and I send this message to my lord in hope of gaining your favor. The messengers returned to Jacob.
That's it. Just through verse 4. Thank you. Verse 6, actually. Yes. And interesting that for us, the Jewish people, this has become such a model for survival that the instrument of being a minority community, a hated minority in so many countries, that we had a special class of people called shtadlanim. These are people who would plead with the rulers to pay them off to give us protection. Most of the time it worked, but then of course there was time when it didn't, and then everything fell apart. And Jacob presents that model of what's to be done when you're faced with impossible odds, with inferior forces against hateful adversaries. Barry, would you tell us Mom's Hebrew name, please?
Chava Gittel bat Mordechai v'Rachel.
One more time.
Chava Gittel.
Chava Gittel bat Mordechai v'Rachel. Okay.
Yep.
I want to ask you before I make the bracha. Tell us a little something about Mother, if you'd like. If you don't want, if you'd rather not, that's okay too.
Yeah, well, she was an amazing woman. Unfortunately, lost way too early. This is actually, I had kind of calculated, this is actually a 49th I've got for her.
Wow.
I was 20 when she passed. But you know, she cared. Family was always number one with her. And that's really what drove her.
How old was she when she died?
She was 60.
Ah, much too young. Was she born in America?
Yes.
And her parents?
From Austria.
Did you know them?
Very little. So my grandfather passed. I was really about 6, I think.
Right.
And my grandmother passed. I was in 8th grade, so I was in 4th grade.
Wow.
So I was like 10 at the time.
Right. Could you tell that your mother was born to Austrian parents with all of that means?
Not really, no.
And did you grow up in Baltimore?
No, they grew up. They grew up in Philadelphia.
Yes, I remember Dr. Eisen saying that when he came to pray, they sent you up first.
Yeah.
You were the much better davener. Well, if there's one thing you would learn, you say you would learn from your mom, what would that be?
It's to just cherish your family. It's the best thing you've got.
How true. Okay, please repeat Mom's name one more time because I forgot it since you did.
Chava Gittel bat Mordechai v'Rachel.
El Mole Rachamim, Shochem Bamromim, Hamtzei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei Hashchina, B'ma'alot Kedoshim Uterim, Kazar Akiya Mazirim, Et Nishmat, Chava Gittel bat Mordechai v'Rachel, שהלכה לעולמה בגן עדן תהי מנוחתה. אנא ולרחמים, הסתיריה בסתר כנפיך לעולמים, וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתה. אדוני הוא נחלתה. ותנוח בשלום על משכבה, ונאמר Amen. Thank you, Barry. Thank you.
Thank you.
We continue with the second Aliyah, and Sandy, would you read for us the second Aliyah?
וישובו המלאכים אל יעקב לאמור, באנו אל אחיך אל עשיו, וגם הולך לקראתך, ו400 איש עמו, וירא יעקב מאוד, ויצר לו, ויחת את העם אשר איתו, ואת הצאן ואת הבקר, והגמלים בשני מחנות, Vayomer im yavo Esav el hamachane hachat vehikahu vehaya hamachane hanishar lifleta.
Beautiful. Jeffrey, please read for us the translation.
The messengers returned to Jacob, saying, "We came to your brother Esau. He himself is coming to meet you, and there are 400 men with him." Jacob was greatly frightened. In his anxiety, he divided the people with him, and the flocks and herds and camels, into 2 camps, thinking, "If Esau comes to one camp and attacks it, the other camp may yet escape."
Truly, truly terrifying. It kind of flashes me back to the Warsaw Ghetto and other ghettos and concentration camps. Seems to be a fate that follows us through the centuries. And with the terror that Yaakov feels, there's also a plan. Okay. Sandy, it's been 5 years for Mom. Would you share with us some thoughts, lessons?
My mother was the 4th of 6, but there was a 5-year break from the next older child to her. So she was both a middle kid and kind of the oldest of the younger group. And I didn't understand her all that well in terms of family dynamics, because it seemed to me like she was just a pushover. She was a pushover for me and my brother and my father and all her sisters and brothers and her parents. And I mean, she always did the nastiest jobs around, and she took them on willingly. And I'd say to her, "Do you like doing this?" She goes, "No." I said, "Well, why don't you share it?" She said, "Well, I'm the best at it." And she actually was. And so, the others did some of the more pleasant and eye-catchy kinds of family tasks. And she did really all the grunt work.
So what's your explanation at this point, with greater wisdom?
I think that she was an early socialist who took joy in honest labor, although she would never admit to that.
Would you call her a Lamed Vavnik?
I think we use that phrase a lot, so why not?
I mean, I personally, at this point in my life, as I think about a person like that, it's someone truly, I don't want to say saint-like, but somebody a very evolved and a great spirit.
That she had.
There you are. Okay. Would you tell us her Hebrew name and her parents' name?
She only had the one name, Goldie. Along the way in Hebrew school, I think either Dr. Chak or Mr. Bugach said, "Well, you should be Zahava." So every once in a while she tried on for size, but it never really stuck.
Okay.
It was Goldie Bat Chaim Shlomo Verifka.
What is on her tombstone?
Goldie Bat Chaim Shlomo Verifka.
I will go with that.
I mean, I put it there. One day we had, there was a rabbi in town named, oh shoot, I can't think of his last name. He was Hillel. He was a behavioral.
Right.
He was a colleague of Steve Salzberg, and I can't think of his name now. But when my mother was in the hospital, and I thought that we could talk her out of. She was having really serious breathing issues, and I just really felt confident that if we could get her relaxed, she could get off the breathing apparatus. And I was right. And Hillel came in to talk to her. I said to my mom, would you talk to a therapist? And she said, no. I said, well, will you talk to a rabbi? And she said, yes. So I turned to the same therapist that I would have used as a therapist. And I said, Hillel, you're here as a rabbi. Will you talk to her about the parsha or whatever? And he did. And he said to my mother, you know, your name is Paz, and, which is like really the purest of the gold, right?
If you say so.
Well, that's how it's always translated when I see it. I didn't really
All
know.
right.
And my mother looked at him, she said, no, if I'm anything, I'm Zahava. But just came to me. I kind of forgot.
Did Hillel have a practice on Park Heights Avenue next to the?
Yes.
I know.
Israel. He's in Israel now.
Right.
I've forgotten his name.
Knew him well. Yes, I'll think of it. Zahava bat Chaim Shlomo
Goldie Bat Chaim Shlomo.
Goldie bat Chaim Shlomo Zahava Rivka. Goldie bat Chaim Shlomo Rivka.
Thank you.
המלא רחמים, שוכן במרומים, אמצעי מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה, במעלות קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים את נשמת גולדי בת חיים שלמה ורבקה שהלכה לעולמה בגן עדן מנוחתה. אנא בעל הרחמים הסתיריה בסתר כנפיך לעולמים וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתה. אדוני הוא נחלתה ותנוח בשלום המשכבה ונאמר אמן.
Very much.
Thank you. Let me see. I know that Randy is ready to read. Susan, are you at all up for reading? No, not yet. Okay. We are on our third Aliyah. Randy, I'm really proud of you. Chapter 32, verse 10. This is a
Bill.
prayer by Yaakov.
10 to what?
10 through 13.
Okay. Vayomer Yaakov Elohei Avi Abraham Ve'Elohei Avi Yitzchak Adonai Ha'omer Elai Shuv Le'artzecha U'lemoladecha Ve'etiva imach katanti mikol hachasadim umikol ha'emet ha'asher asita et avdecha ki v'machli avarti et hayaden hazeh ve'ata hayiti lishnei machanot hasileni na miyad achi miyad esav ki yareh anochi oto pen yavo v'hikani em al banim ve'ata amarta hetev etiv imach v'samti et za'acha kechol hayam asher lo yisafer Me'roh.
Beautiful, beautiful. Heartrending. If you listen to Jeffrey's reading, this is a prayer by Yaakov to God about the terror that he has of Esau. Jeffrey, please.
Then Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham and God of my father Isaac, O Lord, who said to me, Return to your native land, and I will deal bountifully with you. I am worthy of all the kindness that you have so steadfastly shown your servant.
I'm not worthy, I think.
I am unworthy of all the kindness, not worthy.
I heard worthy, so forgive my correction.
That's all right. I am unworthy of all the kindness that you have so steadfastly shown your servant. With my staff alone I crossed this Jordan, and now I have become two camps. Deliver me, I pray, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau. Else I fear he may come and strike me down, mothers and children alike. Yet you have said, I will deal bountifully with you, and make your offspring as the sands of the sea, which are too numerous to count.
What's so terrifying is the prayer to be saved from his brother. His brother, and not just a brother, he's a twin brother. And it's not just that he's going to kill Jacob, but he's going to kill the mother of his 12 children. The horror of this moment is just so piercing. And of course, it goes back to the beginning of Genesis, where Cain murders Abel. The question, can a brother kill a brother? Absolutely. And that's such a frame of the world we live in. And the existential nakedness and rawness of these people that live in these pages is just awful. We're observing Yortzeit for Connie. Then, would you share with us a little bit about your lovely sister, please?
My lovely sister, and she was that. She had a very old soul. She was warm and loving and wise, and she laughed hearty. She cried hard. She lived life with such bravery, and she faced the end of her life with great bravery. And I think she lived with a lot of faith, and she died with faith. She was really a very, very special person, talented, and I wouldn't want to leave out that she loved her ravens. She really, really loved the ravens. But she was very special. Miss her every day. As does Rebecca, who's on, and Emily, who's on, and she was just the relationships that she had with nieces and nephews, and you couldn't not know her and not feel connected and know that she cared. So.
Beautiful. Tell me, everything and more is so true, because I had the good fortune of knowing, and I speak in the present tense. How old are the grandchildren?
Her little girls are, they're 7. I think they're 7 now.
Right.
The twins.
I know.
They were the light of her life. They truly were.
Absolutely, absolutely. Please share with me her Hebrew name.
Cyril Fega.
Cyril Fega, but
Nachman Visara.
Nachman Visara.
Nachman Leib Visara.
Right. One more time.
Cyril Fega.
Cyril Fega.
Nachman Leib Visara.
מלא רחמים שוכן במרומים, אמצא מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה במעלות, קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים, את נשמת צירל פגה בת נחמן לייב בשרה, שהלכה לעולמה. בגן עדן תהי מנוחתה. אנא ברחמים, הסתיריה בסתר כנפיך לעולמים, ביצוע חיים את נשמתה, Adonai hu nachalata v'tanuach b'shalom mishkava v'nomar amen. How many years is it since she died?
3 years.
3 years.
And I'm getting texts from Rebecca and from Emily. The girls are 10 years old.
The girls are 10 years old.
So I stand corrected.
That's what, well, there were 7 when she passed, so that was a good year, yeah. And I know she absolutely a great fortune to have grandchildren in your life. That's beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, my friends, we continue on page 570. Yahallelu.
Yahallelu et Shem Adonai ki niskav shemo levado. Hodo al eretz v'shamayim vayarem keren li'amo. Tila lecho chasidav livnei Yisrael am karovo. Hallelujah.
Eitz chayimi.
Machazikim ba v'tomcheha meushar. Diracheha darchei noam. V'chol nativoteha shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva. Chadesh, Chadesh Yameinu. Chadesh Yameinu kekedem.
Beautiful. We rise, Chatzi Kaddish, 572.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Dibrachi rutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedcho bet Yisrael. Bagalav izman kariv v'yimaru. Amen.
Yishmei Rabba Mevorach, Le'olam Le'omer Maya Yibarach.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Dekudesha B'richu v'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiran b'yoma v'imru Amen.
Amen. We recite the Amidah in unison from the back of the Siddur through 574 through the Kedusha, and we conclude silently.
Ruach atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah El Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanara El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot U'Mevi Goel Livnei V'Nehem L'man Shemo B'Ahava Melchazer Fakedim Mashiach Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Abraham Ufoked Sarah
Amen.
Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Machayim Etim Atah Rav Lahoshia Mashiach Haruach Umarid Hagashem Mechakel Chaim B'Chesed V'Chayim Etim B'Rachamim Rabim Samech Naflim V'Rafeh Chalim Umatir Asirim Mkayem Emunato L'Shenei Afar Milchamocha Ba'al Gevurot Umido Melach Melch Meimitim Chayei Matzmiach Yeshua V'Ne'eman Atalach Hayot Meitim Baruch Atah Adonai Machayei HaMeitim.
Amen. Page 576. Hadeshim Habaolam, Shem Shemoi Deshim Atah B'Shmei Marom, Tulyan Liyecha Kazel Ze Ve'amar.
Kadesh et Shimcha ba'olam, Kashem shemakdishim oteh b'shmei marom, Kakatuv hayad neviecha, V'kara el ze v'yamar.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melech Haaretz Kevodo, L'umatam, Baruch Yemeiru.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melech haaretz kevodo, L'umatam, Baruch Yameru.
Baruch Kevod Adonai, Mimkomo, Derei Kodshecha, Katuv Le'imor.
Baruch kavod Adonai min komo, V'yirei katuv katuv le'mor.
Yimloch Adonai Le'olam, L'chayach Tzion, L'dov Vado. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. L'dor vador nagid gadlecha, netzach netzachim kedushatcha nakdish, v'shivtacha heinu mipinu le'emishli olam va'ed, Yelmelch gadol v'kadosh ata, Baruch Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh. Okay, we'll turn to page 596 for Kaddish. Yisraeli Kedasha Me'rabah,
Amen.
Amadi Bracha L'Tevi, Amir Smakoti, Chaychon B'Yametim, Kaddish Yisrael, V'Ravim Harivim Meru,
Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Ve'olam Le'omer Maya Yisbarach.
Baruch V'Yishtabach, V'Ravim Harivim Leila min kol b'chata v'shirata, tish b'chata v'nechamata, Yamiram b'Almadi Meru,
Amen.
El Tzlon Hon D'Chol Yisrael, Kadama V'Hondi V'Shmaya, V'Meru,
Amen.
Yehesh Lamarabba min Shmaya V'Chayim Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael, V'Meru,
Amen.
Osesh Shalom B'Mrama, Osesh Shalom, Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael, V'Meru,
Amen. Aleinu L'shabeach.
Adon HaKol, take it to its liberation. Hello, Asanu Kigoye Haratzot, hello, Samanu Mishpachot Adama, Shelo Samcha Kenu Kahem, Vigoralenu Kechol Hamonam, Vanachnu Korim Mishtachavim Umodim, B'nei Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shenu V'nacharenu yichruvi yipolu v'lichvod shimcha yikaryutenu yikablu kulam edol machutecha v'tim l'chalehem mehera le'olam va'ed ki hamachut shalcha hi ol me'ad tim l'ch bechavod kakatu b'toratecha Adonai yimlech le'olam va'ed v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shmo echad.
Thank you. Sandy, is Mom's Yortzeit last night and today?
Yes.
Okay. And Barry, your Mom's Yortzeit is Friday to Saturday to Shabbos?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. All right. So we recall with love those who are still in our lives for the Yortzeit of 12th Kislev, Shabbat, November 28th, 2020. We recall, Barry, what's mom's English name?
Eva
Eva
Oslick.
and Goldie Bieber of blessed memory. And we recall also Max Arub, Paul Engelman, Norman Gittimer, Samuel Glass, Mildred Koppel, Bernard Posner, and Aaron Snyder. Yortzeit and Mourner's Kaddish is on page 600. And Sandy, would you lead us in the Kaddish Yatom?
Yitgadal
Yiskadash Shemei Rabo.
Go ahead.
No Dibra Kurisei Vimlech Malchusei V'chayim Chan V'chayamen Chai Dechol Beis Yisrael V'agolo Bizman Karim V'imru Amen Yehi Shmei Rabo
Maya.
Yisparach Yishtabach Yispoer Yisramam Yisnasei Yisagar Yisaleh Yisalo Shemei Kedusha Baruch Hu Vayela Mi Kol Tishvasa Tishvachasa V'nechamasa Rabimam V'yamra V'yimra Amei Yehi Shlomo Rabba Mim Shemaya V'chayim Olenu V'yakov Yisrael V'yimru Amei V'seh Sholem V'yimra V'yaseh Sholem Olenu V'yakov Yisrael V'yimru Amei.
Amen. Lynn, Connie's Yortzeit is tonight and tomorrow, correct?
Correct. That's right.
Okay, right. Barry, okay, davening the evening service, the Arvit service?
Sure.
Okay, so we turn to page 200. And thank you, Sandy, for beautiful davening and beautiful memories of Mom. And just by the time Barry gets ready, just the thought that I learned this notion of speaking in memory of loved ones from my tradition with the Orthodox community, that you usually would sponsor a kiddush and you would tell stories and you would hear, and it was just so sweet and vivid and real, a connection for a child who is dropped into a setting. But you knew when there was a service where somebody would have to say Kiddush, say Kaddish, there would also be a Kiddush, and there would be people sitting around the table and telling stories. And it just, there's no better way to weave your own life story into the threads of the community. And it just, I thought something very special to bring to our minyan and our community. And this is not to say that there are people who really would rather not, thank you, rather not be involved and to say. And I hope I'm wise enough to give people the option of not saying anything. And now, Barry, page 200, please.
V'hurachu michaper avon v'lo yashtit v'rbo l'shiva po v'lo yahir kol chamato Adonai Hoshia HaMelech Yanenu V'yam Kareinu Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed Baruch Adonai Nachon Asher B'dvarim Ha'arivon. El Chai V'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'ma'ariv Ha'ravim
Amen.
Havad Olam Be'Yisrael M'cha Hafta Torah Mitzvot V'ahavatcha Tasir Mimenu Le'olamim Baruch Atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael
Amen.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, והיה. למען ירבו ימיכם וימי בניכם על האדמה אשר נשבע אדוני לאבותיכם לתת להם כימי השמיים על הארץ. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר על בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם ויעשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת. והיה לכם לציצית וריתם אותו, זכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה בני ישראל לכלנו שירה בשמחה רבה, ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדור בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך רוב ענך בקיים לפני משה, זה אלי אנו, ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאולו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Amen.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום.
Page 206.
ושמור צאצאנו אוהבינו לחיים ושלום את אביעד עולם, ברוך אתה אדוני שומר עמו ישראל לעד. אמן. ברוך אדוני ביום, ברוך אדוני בלילה, ברוך אדוני בשוכבים, ברוך אדוני. יראה עינינו ויצמח ליבנו ותגאל נפשנו. כי המלכות שלך היא עולמי, תמלוך בכבוד, כי אין לנו מלך אלא אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני, המלך בכבודו תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ועל כל מעשיו.
Amen. Please rise. Chatzi Kaddish 208.
Yitkadav Yitkadash Rabba.
Amen.
Yolma Divrachu Teviam Nichmachu Tevachaychon Vimechon Chaycho Be'Yisrael Bagalav Izman Karivim Ru Amen.
Amen.
Yehesh Mirabba Mevarach Leolam Olamei Almaya. Yitbarach V'yishtabach Yitpar Yitramam V'yitnasev Yithadar V'yithalev Yithalal Shemir Kudusha Berichu. Ve'elam Min Kol Berchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Da'amiran B'alma V'imru Amen.
Amen. The Silent Amidah begins on page 210. Please remember the paragraph at the top of 212, 213 for Motzei Shabbat. The Amidah speaking to God directly. Okay, we continue with Kaddish Shalem. Barry, if you please.
Yitkarav Yitkarash Rabba. Yom
Amen.
Divrachu Teviam Nichmachu Tevachaychon V'yimechon V'chayelcho Be'Yisrael Bagalav Izman Karivim Ru Amen. Yehesh Rabba Mevarach Le'olam Olamei Almaya. Yitbarach V'yishtabach Yitpar V'yitnormam V'yitnasev Yithadar V'yithalev Yithalal Shemir Kudusha Berichu. Le'elam Min Kol Berchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Da'amiran B'alma V'imru Amen.
Amen.
Yikabetz L'hon V'hon D'chol Yisrael Kadama V'hon D'Yishmaya V'imru Amen. Yehesh Lama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Marmav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen.
Amen. We turn to page 700 for the Havdalah. We are instructed that Havdalah is another act of Kiddush, but we don't call it Kiddush, we call it Havdalah. But in fact, the function of the Havdalah is the same as in Kiddush. We consecrate the coming week and we separate the kind of holiness that we experience and practice on Shabbat for the rest of the week. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei vesamim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei haesh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam המבדיל בין קודש לחול, בינו לחושך, בין ישראל לעמים, בין יום השביעי לששת ימי המעשה. ברוך אתה אדוני המבדיל בין קודש לחול. מבדיל בין קודש לחול, חטאותינו ימחול, זרענו וכפינו ירבה כחול, וכוכבים בלילה. שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב, הגות אבוך, הגות אבוך, שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב, הגות אבוך, הגות אבוך, אליהו הנביא, אליהו התשבי, אליהו, אליהו, אליהו הגלעדי, במהרה בימינו יבוא אלינו, עם משיח בן דוד, עם משיח בן דוד, אליהו הנביא, אליהו התשבי, אליהו, אליהו, אליהו הגלעדי. Page 224, עלינו.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Thank you, Barry, for a beautiful davening. We recall with love those who are in our hearts, in our lives, in our spirits, for the Yortzeit of the 13th of Kislev, Sunday, November 29th, 2020. The following names are listed in our perpetual memorials at Chizuk Amuno: Joseph Beck, Irene Bloomberg, Herman Druckman, Catherine Freeman, Alberta Hyman, Leonard Jed, Jacob Kipper, Arthur Levine, Sarah Lipset, Maurice Morgan, M. Jacob Round, Milton Shapiro, Adele Zuckerberg. Jeffrey, do we have anybody else?
And Connie Apatow.
They omitted Connie Apatow.
Connie Apatow, of course, I will write it down so we will have it.
Thank you.
With love, we recall them and consecrate their lives by reciting Kaddish Yatom, Mourners Kaddish, page 226. And Len, would you lead us in the Mourners Kaddish, 226?
Yifgadal v'yifgadal
Shmei Rabo.
Yoma.
Vivroch Rasei Vimloch Malchusei V'chayan Chan V'chayei Chol V'chayei Dechol Beis Yisrael V'agolo V'zman Karim V'imro Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabban Noach V'olam Le'omei Amayah Yisborach V'yishtabach V'yisprolach V'yisramam V'yisnaseh V'yisadar V'yisalov V'yisaleh Shemei D'Kudasho Baruch Hu ואלה מכל וחוסו פשוטו תשבחוסו ונחמוסו רבין רון ואומרו ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבו מן שמיו בחיים עולנו ויעקב וישראל ואמרו אמן. עשה שלום במרומו ויעשה שלום עלינו ויעקב וישראל ואמרו אמן.
Amen, amen. Thank you, Lynn, very much. Barry, thank you. It's always a delight to have you. You're truly a master davener, and appreciate it. And Sandy, thank you. And thank you all. Tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. It's so peculiar to me, certainly, the short time and the long time of people who are here and are not, but are very much with us. In any case, we wish you a sweet week. And Hanukkah is, let's see, 12 days away. 12 days away to Hanukkah. So go out there and buy your dreidels and latkes and magic candles and menorahs and all the other wonderful good things. Please God, be safe, be good, be healthy, and please God, on happy occasions.
Save December 17th for our next Minion movie.
Yes, ma'am.
You and I need to talk. Can we make it the 16th?
Shavua Tov, everyone.
Shavua Tov. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
What's the movie?
Thank you, Lynn.
Briscoe Kid.
So what's wrong with the date that you have?
I've got a slight conflict on the 17th. So, but we can, it just popped up. So